What is going on, Aztec Nation? San Diego State men's basketball team just recently, well, they had a chance. They had a chance. It was in their grasp. They had a chance to take control of the Mountain West Conference and the regular season. But that old nemesis, Utah State, the Aggies, take down the Aztecs in Logan, Utah. Unfortunately, we are here at this juncture, but where else would you rather be? Thank you, everybody, for joining. This is the Sons of Montezuma podcast. I am your host, Mateo. You could find me at Mateo San Diego. You can find us at Sons of Monty on X, Twitter, Sons of Montezuma on Instagram, Spotify for the audio versions. And well,
I'm an Aztec warrior.
I am joined today with my fellow co-hosts, and joining us today he is
The fiend
can't
of a
stop him.
microphone. I'm the microphone.
You can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him. Fiend, how are you doing down there in the corner? Got Fiend in the corner.
Yeah, it could be better, man. But that was a tough loss last night. Thought we get so close. We get so close in these games, and we just can't get over the hump. So disappointed again on the road, man. I don't know what it is, but fortunately, we don't have too many more of these road games to go. So you got to be grateful for that.
68-63, Utah State takes down the Aztecs. He was watching it on TV. He went from East County to East Tahoe.
Michael Tortolot.
It's Mike Tortolot. Mike, how are you?
Good. How are you guys? I think weren't we all watching on TV last night? All four of us?
Yeah.
Right. Hey, you know what's crazy? The sun rose today and it set. So you know what I mean? The things don't stop when we lose a basketball game. That's okay.
I get the business, dude. Everybody tells me that I shouldn't go to the games anymore because every time Sons of Montezuma makes the road trip, bad things happen. But we promise we were all watching from TV last night, so it wasn't our fault. And of course, joining us down there, it is Sir Andy's. You can find him on Twitter. It is Mr. Andy Serrano. What's going on, man? Good to see you.
What's going on, guys? It was frustrating. Now 0 quality in-conference road wins. So, frustrating, but we're still in good position for what matters, right? March.
Oh, that hurts. Don't say it like that, man. Don't say it like that. You're making my bacchiotomy act up again.
It is what it is.
Andy, we're gonna bring you back in just a moment because I know you're gonna be helping us out in the back details, doing the fact checks on us, making sure we stay within the line. So we'll bring you back in just a second. Thank you for joining us tonight, man. Okay, guys. Tough loss, but we got to go through the particulars. Thank you guys for joining the chat. We see you guys. Make sure you guys are supporting the sonsofmontezuma.com online shop. Of course, we have Reese Waters on the NIL team. We got his new collection just dropped. Of course, we all know that Mr. Micah Parrish has his NIL collection at the NIL shop. And we all know Mr. Ladie has got some new products coming in, new hoodie there. You guys see there. And last but not least, Mr. Lamont Butler. So support the guys. It was a tough one, but there's plenty of ways to support our guys. Keep them going strong for the rest of the season. 68-63, guys. Utah State. Fiend, we know you have a very interesting relationship with Utah State. You don't particularly care for their fans, but you respect the team. And one thing you said coming into this game is that the Aztecs need to respect the Aggies, respect them as a team. We've talked about them at the beginning of the year. Coach Danny Sprinkle didn't bring in hardly any returning players. He's a new coach. He brought his players from Montana State, I believe, into Utah State's program. Was it Montana or Montana State? I don't remember, but people will remember pretty soon because that performance was pretty good. He's working his way up with the coach of the year in the Mountain West, that's for sure.
Probably national coach of the year. I mean, I would have to think he's the front runner for that. I mean, we were just talking about this. Like, if you put a bet, a future bet on Utah State at the beginning of the year, or, in the off season, for them to win the Mountain West Conference, you'd have tremendous odds right now, and you'd be looking good because they have the inside track, if they win out, they win the conference. So it's you know, kudos to them, man. I did not expect this from the Utah State Aggies, man. They're playing really good basketball. They have a great big man in Great Osabar, and Darius Brown is the truth at point guard, man. He was just fantastic last night.
I gotta eat a little crow. I'll admit it, Aztec Nation. I gotta eat a little crow. Last episode when we were previewing Utah State, I did say they're special players. I have yet to see them be truly special. I said that, and it was true. I felt like the most of the games I saw was like, okay, are these guys really special? They proved to be special last night for sure. Like you said, great Osibor didn't have a great game when they came down and played us in San Diego, but having that home court environment, things always happen that ways, right? You get that little extra boost in your step, and they came out right out of the gate playing with high energy, especially on the defensive end, right? But great Osibor, what a special player indeed he truly is, both physically but also passing the ball right out of the paint. I mean, the offense, you made a point of that, Fiend, that they are actually, contrary to what everybody believes a Utah State traditionally is a great three-point shooting team, but that's not the case under Danny Sprinkle. They actually they pass the ball. They pass the ball very, very well, get open looks, and was great at that. He really was able to pass out of the paint and cause havoc, not only scoring but passing the ball. Ah. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, we're already guys, we appreciate all the love. We see what do we got here? T-Mac already with the super chat. So we gotta highlight that for sure, guys. Losses suck, T-Mac says. Losses, yes, they do suck. That's the first thing I thought of when I woke up this morning. Losses suck, but the net did not move for either SDSU nor Utah State. The road games at altitude are tough. Sprinkle is definitely getting Mountain West coach of the year. Okay, Fiend, this is your area. The net rankings. It didn't move. So before everybody freaks out, before everybody talks about all the Aztec struggles on the road, that, as Andy pointed out, we don't have a quality road win in conference. But this particular game, we're talking about this particular game. This loss didn't move the net. So what does that really tell you about this loss?
It's really not that big a deal, other than the implications for the regular season Mountain West Conference Championship and possibly the seedings for the tournament. Didn't move us up or down either way. Quad one win or losses on the road are not going to hurt you. We have some landmines coming up with Fresno, UNLV, San Jose State. If you lose those, that's gonna put a big dent in the net rankings. But for this one, I mean, hey, the Mountain West is just really good this year with all the teams that are like in the top 50 of the net. I was just thinking like how some of these teams might have finished like last year, comparing it to last year's Mountain West or last year's Mountain West teams, how they would finish in this year. I think as a whole, we're just much better as a league, and so that's helping boost. What's that saying about all the tide rises all ships, And so the Mountain West is just the rising tide is lifting everyone's boats up this year, and so hey, this is a great opportunity to get 6 teams into the NCAA tournament, something that's never been done before for the Mountain West.
Mike, you got anything to add on that? On T-Mac's comment, he says the road games at altitude are tough, and I think that's definitely true this year. Conversations I've been having with different folks is like, okay, that combination of the altitude, the travel, it's been playing a number on our guys. But my pushback on that is like, okay, well, teams of the past have played at altitude, they've won, they've been able to win certain matchups, on the road, whether it's Utah State, whether it's, wherever, New Mexico. Not an easy thing to do, but teams of the past have done it before. So kind of piggybacking off of T-Mac's comment, there's a lot you can unpack there. Is this Aztecs team are they that good, or are they not that good that they're losing these games on the road? Or is the Mountain West really, are they really just that tough, the Mountain West?
I mean, I think it's a little bit of both. The Mountain West is a good league this year. Like if they're talking about getting 6 teams in, that's unprecedented. You know, all of our losses have been road quad one losses. So, I mean, what do? We just, and the other thing too is outside of that New Mexico game, we've had a chance to win every single one of those games. We just haven't found a way to win. And we talk about like, making plays, certain times you make plays, like I've talked about, you make a free throw here or there, it changes the complexion. But like Dutch was saying, he's like, we just haven't made the plays at the right time to get over that hump. So I think we're still a little young. We're not as veteran as we were last year with how much depth we had, and guys had seen all this stuff and been on the road for a few years and knew how to figure out how to win games, and these guys did too. It's just they're still learning on the fly of how to finish games, and they just haven't finished road games. They finished neutral sort games and home games. It just is what it is, man. I mean, I was seeing something where UConn hasn't beat a ranked opponent on the road since 2014. So it is what it is, man. I mean, the only thing we're really worried about right now is the seeding. So, it is what it is. But I do know that Utah State was gassed last night. I was watching Osobor. He was exhausted. So we'll see how the conference ends. And if we get a good seeding, I'm really fascinated to see how some of these teams are, how Utah State's going to be when they have to play potentially 3 games in 3 days. I mean, Osobor was suck and win, man. They were going after it last night. So, but again, at the end of the day, we were in most of these games, if not all the games on the road, except for New Mexico, and we had a chance to win them. We just didn't figure out a way to win them. So hopefully that translates to figuring out moving forward.
Andy, I'm gonna bring you in for a minute. Thank you for helping us out on that UConn road win against that little tidbit. Man, when you were watching at home and you saw maybe some of the woes from this game on our side, I mean, for all the Lamont Butler vitriol that has kind of seeped into Twitter and that whole space and on social media, I mean, this is one game, of course. He didn't perform at his best. I know there's been a lot of Micah Parrish pushback. He didn't perform at his best. But what were the bright spots that you take away from this game, watching, especially, maybe somebody like Bird? Oh, you're on mute, my boy. There we go. All good.
Yeah, Bird's my guy. I'm from the Central Valley, just like him. So I'm always pulling for him. But bright spots, absolutely. Bird just comes in with that high energy. One thing I'd like to point out is that block that he had on Osobor.
Yeah.
That was great. He got up. I think it went back to a Utah State defender. Unfortunately, they scored from that. But Bird, solid. Ladie, of course, right? Ladie always comes to play. Just putting up, going. He was keeping the Aztecs in the game single-handedly. So I'd say the 2 bright spots were Bird and Ladie. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, Ladie did his thing. Ladie did his thing. 23 points, right? What were you gonna say, Fiend? Go ahead.
No, I mean, I would just like to point out some comparisons to last year's team, because you have one loss on the road and the sky is falling. Oh, this team sucks, and this player sucks,
Yeah.
and it's just ridiculous. Like, if you look at like our KenPom rankings from this year, we're ranked 18th. Like, our net efficiency is like 20.31. Last year we were ranked 14th. Net efficiency 20.34. Like, almost exactly the same, right? We're a little better on offense this year. They were a little better on defense last year. And look where we went. We went to the national championship game. So I think people are kind of overreacting. We've had these games on the road where we lost close games. If you remember that Boise game last year towards the end of the regular season, right? We had we blew that game at the end of the game. And, Lamont Butler did not have a very good performance in that game. He had 3 points, but look what we did in the postseason, running through the Mountain West Conference tournament and then running through the NCAA tournament, these games are going to make us better on a neutral court, whether that's at the Mountain West Conference tournament or that is in the NCAA tournament. I will not be worried until we get run off the court on a neutral court. That's when I would be worried. But other than that, I think we're good.
I want to show T-Mac, thank you again for the super. If you guys want to ask some questions and get highlighted like what you're seeing here, our supers are open. UConn, Purdue, Dayton, and some other ranked teams lost this week. Just this week, SDSU is one of 5 teams that has only quad 1 losses, unless it changed recently. And yeah, that echoes a bit of what you're saying, Fiend. Last year, no, I don't believe anybody thought this team was making it to the national championship game, guys. If everybody's real, it takes a good look at themselves in the mirror. The way the season was going, all the adversity this team had to challenge through. I mean, we made T-shirts about it for Lamont Butler, talking his quote after that, that game in Maui and some of the struggles that were on and off again throughout the year. Coach Dutch he's pulling the strings, and I think the strings of pulling on a team, especially with the starting lineup, right? Everybody likes to focus on the starting lineup. Like, guys, I don't think the starting lineup is necessarily the most important thing. Personally, the minutes played in the crunch time, that's going to be your biggest difference makers right there. I think there is some room to talk about it, but it's not like if so-and-so would have started, the end of the game would have been much different. I think the beginning, certainly, I think this is a unique challenge for Coach Dutcher. I mean, as soon as the game started and they came out cold, oh boy, he made some wholesale changes. And that's a rare thing, Mike. That's a rare thing to see Coach Dutcher do so early in the game. But he's setting the point without completely changing, the starting lineup. I think he's sending a message like, what did Micah Parrish say when we interviewed him? You got to set the tone. You got to be a tone setter. Any comments, Mike, about the starting lineup and all that kind of controversy people will try to drum up?
I don't know. I mean, you can find controversy in anything. I mean, the starting lineup is the starting lineup. I think he's, the fact that he's kind of screwed around with it the last couple of games is he's open to tinkering with it, obviously. But, it's who ends the game, and we see who's on there and stuff. And I don't know, man. Like, you lose by 5, and 4 of your 5 starters score 12 points. That's fascinating to me, because you're still in the game, but your starters aren't scoring as they should be, and so that's this team's an anomaly, man. So as far as the starters go, I mean, whatever Dutch goes with, I'm rolling with him obviously all the time. But I like what he's kind of doing with Bird and Saunders off the bench, obviously, and Jay Powell starting. I mean, I might flip Waters and Parrish right now to kind of, I'm not sure what's going on with Parrish. He had a wide open 3 he just didn't take, and that's not like him. So it's a little, I'm not sure what's going on with him. He'll figure it out, but I'm open to tweak it however best you can, to win a game.
Everybody keeps making that point about Parrish, but one thing people don't say is that he passed it into Ledee, and Ledee found an even more wide open Elijah Saunders, who didn't hit the 3. He was even more wide open. So it's kind of like, well, he was passing to get the better shot. I don't know.
I agree with that, but like that's not like Micah. Micah usually just goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so he doesn't really hesitate. So that's kind of interesting to me to see that. That's all I'm saying is that was a curiosity to me.
Yeah. Thank you, Fembone. Number 18, UK. I assume we're talking about Kentucky. Lost to a 14-12 LSU. So, hey, this is happening all over the nation. It's happening all over the nation, guys. Thank you so much, Sarah. And Sarah began the chat here on YouTube Live, announcing that the women's team just won. They beat Air Force, and they are finishing the season very strong. They have been very competitive. They got one more home game left, I believe. I'm gonna do my best to make it there because those girls, they deserve our support. And I know Sarah Fembone does too, leading the pep band. Thank you so much. Andy, we're gonna let you go for just a couple more minutes because we got ourselves a special guest tonight, guys. If you guys have been paying attention to sonsofmontezuma.com, we had a nice article released just this morning and some pretty good details in there, some pretty good analysis. I know me and Fiend were talking about it. A young man that writes for the Daily Aztec and also for the Pelicans, like an online journal as well. So we're going to get the clear story from him. But Mac Pham is joining us tonight. Caught my attention writing for the Daily Aztec. I thought he really communicates very effectively. And one of the cool things about working for the Daily Aztec, we try to feature some different personalities from the Daily Aztec as much as possible. Mac was sharing with me that the other day he got to go through like a practice run of doing a play-by-play call for one of the Aztec games. So I thought that was really cool that they do that with their sports writers there, right? Kind of give them that opportunity to get that experience. And I'm sure it's not as easy as it looks. So before we bring on Mac, just a little sample of the play-by-play exercise that the Daily Aztec gets to do for our San Diego State students, and we'll bring Mac on.
James McGee, he had a season, like you said, he had a season low 13 points versus Colorado, and I think it's about how he gets to numbers. If he can get to those 13 points and he's not forcing the issue, I think those are results that you can live with. But if he's getting 13, 15 points and he's forcing up the issue, that's not the recipe for success.
Mac Pham, what's going on, man? Welcome to the Sons of Montezuma podcast. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How about y'all?
Doing great. You see SD Sports Fiend in the top. Mike Tortolot looking all blurry up there. What's going on with his mic? You got to do a little foam fingers or something, man.
I don't know, bro.
Jazz fingers.
What's up, Mac? How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for
How you
asking.
doing, Matt? Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
Mac, I wanted to intentionally show that little clip. One of the things that impressed me the most about that is that you weren't holding back, man. You were telling the truth. You were speaking exactly what you were seeing on the court about Jaden Ledee. It was a moment of like, hey, if he's not going to play a certain way, that's not the best recipe for success. I thought that was really cool that you would speak your mind on that and not sugarcoat things, but give your honest analysis, man. How has it been working at the Daily Aztec for you?
It's been great. It really gives me experience where it really is a process where I go to class and I learn all these techniques of journalism, and then I apply it into things like the Daily Aztec, and that's where I really get experience into the field that I want to be in. And for example, this year, our sports section, we added a 24-hour deadline turnaround where we have 24 hours to after a game ends, we have 24 hours to write the game story and then get it into the Daily Aztec, get it published. And it's really given me good experience writing on deadline. And actually just recently, literally just this past week, we cut down the time where instead of 24 hours, we're doing it where it's very similar to real world standard expectations, where the deadline now is by midnight, or at the latest, if something happens, then 10 a.m. in the morning. So we really cut down on the deadline that we have to work with. But it really gives me good experience just writing on deadline and covering game stories, getting all those repetitions in for the Daily Aztec.
It's amazing. People need to understand I love that word, repetition. Whether it's sports, music, anything in your professional career, repetition, it's key. It's key to just keep doing it, refine your craft. That's really awesome to hear, man. Really awesome.
Appreciate
so tell
it.
us, before we get into more comments from all the watchers, all the viewers, because they're eager to talk about this team a little bit more, just real briefly, where are you from? How'd you find your way to San Diego State?
Yeah, I'm from San Diego. I lived here my whole life. I live about like 15 to 20 minutes up to 15 from the school campus. I finished high school at Malcolm High School. It's in the Rancho Penasquitos area. I graduated high school in 2020. And then I went to Palomar Community College for 2 years. And then I went through the whole transfer application process. I applied into like 4 schools. I applied in here, applied to Cal State, San Marcos, UCSD, and UCLA. And then, of course, I got accepted into 3 of them, the other one being UCLA. that didn't take me, and then I made the decision to get to enroll in San Diego State University, and of course I came here as a junior transfer. So I I came here, and I think like the first couple weeks before school started, I did some like research on clubs, organizations I wanted to join, and the first one I joined was KCR, the college radio, and I didn't join the Daily Aztec until basically this past summer. I had a class last spring semester where I met someone in the class. We were in the same group project, and we started forming a friendship. Um, and he was the one that really got me into the Daily Aztec. And so I hung out with him in the Daily Aztec newsroom, and then I really had some interest in joining the Daily Aztec. And actually, the thing was too. I think at a point prior to that, when I was looking up organizations and clubs, I knew that like the Daily Aztec was a thing, but I didn't really think about doing it. So it wasn't until like later in the spring that's when I decided like, okay, I want to do the Daily Aztec the next year. So I did all the applications, all the forms to fill out for the Daily Aztec, and then I started to like attend meetings in the summer, and then I started to cover games in August at the beginning of the school year, and I really started to start doing stuff, start contributing to Daily Aztec, get at least one article in a week.
Very cool. Very cool. I'm already seeing in the chat, Sarah Fembone, Mag PQ in the house. I think you said Mount Carmel. Was it Mount Carmel?
Yes.
Mount Carmel. There you go, Sarah. Mount Carmel. All right. We know Aztec Nation represents. We support our own. All right, Mike. Is Mike back? There he is. There he is. He went blurry on us for a couple minutes.
It's like my years of college.
Yes. Okay, well let's get into the chat a little bit. I see T Mac. He says, I noticed that Osibor from the game last night is really good with setting screens and making some smart plays on both defense and offense. We did talk about Osibor. He truly was great last night. Oh boy. Rich says, are we going to Vegas? Are we going to Vegas, guys? Are we going to Vegas? Will we be there getting our pregame or postgame on? He just bought his Sons of Montezuma gear to represent in Vegas, and you better believe it. Sons of Montezuma. I have been there personally to the Mountain West tournament in Vegas. Boy, I want to say at least 12, 13 years in a row. Fiend, I know you're on a hot streak.
2015, yeah.
Wow.
Even the COVID year, I was there.
I don't know how you made that happen.
I had to.
So we will be there. Rich. We're definitely gonna be there at the tournament. We'll be representing somewhere around the arena. We're looking forward to that. Mac, you ever been to the Mountain West tournament? Have you ever?
I have not.
That's a treat. You got to go this year. This year is gonna be incredible, right? I mean,
Yeah.
every single team. If there's one thing that we learned from last night's game, obviously a loss to Utah State. But if there's one thing I learned is that it's anybody's Mountain West tournament this year. Literally anybody can win this thing. It was on the road. The Aztecs been losing these games on the road. But all that tells me is that, okay, when you get into a neutral court environment where there's no, whatever. Guys, Mike, what does the Utah State student section call themselves? What do they call themselves? Or like
The herd.
I can't remember. The herd? And they pass out these sheets.
The bull sheets.
The bull sheets.
Bullshit. Oh, yeah, the bullshit.
Okay.
I thought they were called the polygamous. But no, it's the herd. Yeah, did everybody see that article in the Union Tribune from Ziegler about their bullshit? Is it bullshit?
Yeah, they
was that from Ziegler?
I get it. I get it now. Bullshit. I get it now. That makes okay. All right.
They had some pretty extensive research on some of our players. And they had gone back years, like in their timelines of their social media, to gather this intel to put it together for their student section to troll our players during the game. So,
oh lord. Well, it's going to be very exciting because every student section should be there, or at least their fan base should be there. So it's going to be a pretty rowdy atmosphere. Mac, you wrote an article for us and we posted it just
Yep.
this morning, and we headline it: San Diego State will need to rely on their brand of basketball and a little more come March Madness. And you had three main points that you made about Ladie versus double teams, the X factors on the team, and lastly, your last point was offensive and defensive strategy. So, do you want to elaborate a little bit? Because when it comes to Mountain West tournament play, the Aztecs are notorious for always making the championship game. They haven't always won it, but they've always been there for, geez, as long as Brian Dutcher's been there, they've made it to the championship game. So, how do you see this team out of those 3 points? I mean, can you expound a little bit on what you're seeing, or detail what's in the article on how you see this team? How are they going to bring home another Mountain West trophy?
Yeah, I think to the first point, Jaden Gadi, there's been a couple of games where he's seen double teams throughout the whole game, and that has like tanked his points per game average. And when he gets double teamed, when you're the star player and you are double teamed, you have done your job. Now you got to get rid of the basketball and then let the basketball do the work because somebody's gonna be open. And the thing is, it is it is like it is a math game where okay, somebody, two guys on one guy, then there's gonna be 4-on-3. You got a 4-on-3 advantage somewhere on the other side of the floor, and I think it's really just all about where when once Legini catches the ball, he's got to get rid of the ball, not necessarily find whoever's open because the passing angle may not be there. But even if he can get the pass off to the nearest teammate and then let the ball do the work, somebody will be open. And I think one of the things where Ladie as a big man, he can integrate and use a retreat dribble where he just catches the ball and then once that double team comes, he's got to literally dribble back, scan the area, get rid of the basketball, and like I said, let the basketball do the work because somebody's gonna be open. Somebody on the weak side of the floor is gonna be open for three. Somebody's gonna cut, dive to the rim, and get open for a layup. And it's not rocket science. I really do trust the coaching staff, Coach Dutcher. They'll figure this out. Again, it's a collective effort. Ladie's got to figure out a way how to get rid of the basketball when he's double teamed. Other guys, they got to be able to make themselves available, get open on cuts, on cutting angles where they can make themselves available. And the coaching staff as well, being able to set up their players to execute the game plan when Ladie gets double teamed, and they have to be able to generate open looks or generate open shots on the outside and be efficient because when Ladie gets double teamed, we've seen it where he'll turn the ball over or he'll try to force the issue and he'll try to play through contact, but he ends up throwing a wild shot and he doesn't get the call, and then the Aztecs just wasting an offensive possession. So it is a concern, but it is something that they can definitely solve with about 4 games left in the regular season before they head off for the Mountain West and compete for the Mountain West championship. And
Love that.
yeah.
Love that. Love that. Love that. Fiend, I love what I'm hearing, man. I mean, this is very sound stuff we're hearing, man. And
Yeah.
I was very surprised last night. Ladie only had 1 turnover from what I'm reading on the stat line. So there is that improvement going on there. You got anything to add to that?
Well, yeah, he didn't have any turnovers, but you got to look at like the comparison between him and Great Osibor in that low post. And Great Osibor had 7 assists and only 2 turnovers, and Ladie is not getting assists off those turnovers. I absolutely agree with you that like when he gets double teamed, he should be passing out right away to the closest player, and they should be creating a passing lane for him to throw it to, and then you can work it around. Don't make the hard pass and try to throw it cross court. Make the easy pass and then work it around the perimeter to the open player. What I really like, though, in your article was when you said that when you put Ladie at the elbow or the
At the high
high
post.
post, where he has more ability to kind of face the basket, survey, the defense. I think that is a great strategy. I'm a big advocate of more pick and roll and have him move, because it's hard to double team someone when they're moving, and so you pick and roll with Butler and Trammell, who are great downhill players and who can get to the hoop. And you pair that with guys like Parrish, who historically has been a great 3-point shooter, and Waters, and that's a pick your poison type of offense. And so I'm a big believer of what you're saying there, is to kind of take him out of the low post when he doesn't have either the outlet pass, or he doesn't have the vision to be able to look and see and find the open guy.
Very good. Very, very good stuff. Well, Mac, we want people to go back and read that article. There's some really good stuff. I know before we let you go, your second point was the X factors on the team. Anything you want to add about those X factors moving forward?
Yeah, it's really just about all these guys I mentioned: Jay Powell, Miles Bird, and Elijah Saunders. They know their role. Where Miles Bird, he's a gifted scorer. Where last year he didn't play as much. He really rode the bench. This year he's been in the rotation regularly, and his game is like he's just a gifted scorer. But he has really embraced his role this season, and just being able to spot up shoot, being able to play off the ball, catch and shoot threes, and defensively he has a really good knack for being aggressive, timing when to time and play the passing lanes. And it feels like every other game he gets at least one steal in the passing lane, creates a live ball turnover, and then goes to coast for a transition dunk. And then we brought in Jay Powell, a transfer from Campbell, and he does all the dirty work. I remember the other game recently against Colorado State. He was just boxing out and getting boards off our own missed free throws. He was crashing the offensive glass. Like last week, he had 3 offensive rebounds against Colorado State. 2 of them were off an SDSU missed free throw. And then to Elijah Saunders, this is a guy that he is a big man, and he can space the floor. He can knock down a catch and shoot 3 here and there. He's been reliable. And in that game against New Mexico, he went on an 8-0 run that basically put the Aztecs in the driver's seat to win that game. He had 2 catch and shoot 3-pointers, and then he had a layup. And he had his own, like I said, his own 8-0 run, and then he basically extended the Aztecs lead from 3 to 11 late in the second half, and he was just the X factor in that. And he was like one of the main reasons why the Aztecs won that game against New Mexico, and really pulled away in that second half. And all these guys, they know their role. They really buy into Coach Dutcher, because like I said, they just know their role. Like I said, a guy like Miles Bird, his strength hasn't been up to his potential yet, but he's done other things on the floor. He's contributed in other ways that has given him more playing time on the floor, and he has given the Aztecs a ton of value coming off the bench and doing other things that may not necessarily highlight his strengths.
Right. Very well said. Very well said.
Yeah, and the guys who are playing the best in the game, because they're the ones who are there at the end of the game. And you saw, like last night, Miles Bird got a lot of playing time, especially towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
And I think he deserves more playing time. If he continues to play that way, he's going to work his way onto the floor. And I think Dutcher's going to reward that, and so he's just got to continue to do what he does, being disruptive on the defensive end, and also just all the intangibles that he brings on the offensive end as well.
Mac, if people want to read more of your work at the Daily Aztec, how do they connect with you on social media? What's the best way to find you?
Yeah, Instagram and Twitter, those are like my main 2 social medias. They're both the same username, MacFam26, MACPHAM26.
All right, man. Well, listen, we appreciate your time, man. It's really good, insightful stuff. Like I said, I love the way you communicate through your articles, and hopefully we can have you collaborate a little bit more in the future, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, Team Mac, man. Thanks for all your work. Do good work.
Appreciate it. Yep.
Thanks, man. Have a good night. Appreciate it.
Yes, y'all as well.
All right, Mac. Thank you. Everybody, give it up for Mac fam. Go give him a follow. He's a very good read on his articles at the Daily Aztec. We're gonna bring in Sir Andy's. What's going on, man?
What's going on, guys?
So you're not making it to Vegas, Andy. What's going on with you, man? Come on, dude. What's wrong here?
I'm not making it to Vegas. I save my when I think about it, I try to save my days that I like. If I get to talk to my manager, say, "Hey, I need this day off," right? I'm saving that for the tournament, right? March Madness tournament. And they're just so close to each other, it's hard to ask for that many days off in that 1 month. So that's my thought process.
Well, the chat likes it. DJ Dubs, SD Sports Fiend, and Mac dropping facts. That's what we do here on Sons of Montezuma. Some excellent analyst work here. Okay, T-Mac. Bird and Ladie seem to be the two players on the team that are very consistent and fearless. No shade on the other players, but Bird comes and always has a contribution. I am the real Mac. With the K. Yeah, man. I mean, you can't argue with it, right? And that's why I'm not really hung up on the whole starting lineup thing. I mean, I know it's everybody wants to be in the starting five. It's just something we always debate, right? Beginning of the season, middle of the season, after the season. It's like, who's in your top five? Who's in your top five? But the players that perform the best in the game, they're going to be the ones standing at the final buzzer, at the final whistle. So just, work hard. I believe Dutcher, he figures out what's best. I mean, the starting five isn't always, it could be a mental thing as well, right? Just kind of the team chemistry and what's going to work best. I don't know. Guys, are we excited about Fresno State? Are we excited about Fresno State on Saturday?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Just think about Fresno, Mike. Just think about Fresno.
Well, yeah. By the way, let's backtrack a minute, dude. You guys talked about Utah State being our rival. That was the first time they beat us in the last 6 games. That's not really a rival. So Boise State still is our rival. Yeah, I mean, they beat us a couple years in 19 and 20, and we beat them in 22. But I still think Boise is our rival right now, and that could change.
How many times have we played them in the Mountain West Conference Championship?
We beat them the last 5 times in a row, except for last night.
Once.
Yeah, but Boise State, what's the record the last few games? If you're only focusing on the tournament, then you're throwing out a lot of your stats.
That's championship season, Mike. That's a whole
but you asked who the rival is.
Season.
You can't
Here's a stat for you, Mike. So the last 7 games.
There you go. Let's get it.
If I remember right, Mike, the last 7 games that they've that we've been at Boise. We have the same record as them as when they're at Viejas. What that record is, I can't remember, but that may be a recipe for rivalry. That may be true, but I still think it's Utah State, man.
It's all right.
Taco Bell Arena is a tough place to play in.
The Taco Bell.
I mean, hey, if we just take care of our business, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I mean, we can't worry about that. That New Mexico, I don't know what the New Mexico game is right now, but they're going to be hungry the last game of the season. They could potentially be in that mix too. So, I mean, we could be rooting. I mean, obviously, we'll just worry about ourselves right now and then see what happens. But, like Fiend was saying earlier, like you can't. Who the hell knows what these seedings are going to be, man? We could still get a 6 or or something like that. So, if we just worry about us. Take care of Fresno State and take care of San Jose State. Those 2 games, those are big games. And then I still think UNLV is going to be tough on the road, man. I still think they're going to be tough on the road because they're going to need this win too. So, it's a big game. Man.
I was surprised watching their last game at the Thomas and Mack. They had quite a few fans there. I mean, probably the most fans that I've seen attend a UNLV game. You can tell that they're excited about this team. They're just kind of losing a lot of close games. Like we lost some close games, but I think, for this team, the thing that concerns me the most is just how bad we are at 3-point shooting. I don't know if you guys realize that we're a bad 3-point shooting team. Like 248th of like what 363 teams in Division One. We shoot 32.2% for the season. And this is the worst 3-point shooting season that we've had since 2017, when we were the 6th seed and we got bounced in the semifinals. We had the 316th worst team in Division One. They shot 31.6%. So this is the worst 3-point shooting team that we've had. I think we need to acknowledge that. That's a problem. And for us to rely on how many threes we take, per game, it hurt us in this game. It was a big reason why we lost this game at Utah State, only shooting 15.8%. So my biggest concern about this team is if we have one of these days in the tournament, whether it's in the Mountain West Conference tournament or in the NCAA tournament, if we shoot like that, we could get bounced from the tournament. And so that's a concern for me. Hopefully it gets better. But it is what it is. We just need to acknowledge we're not a good 3-point shooting team this year.
I think especially when you're going up against a guy who can match up with Ladie, and really Osobor may be the only one. I mean, I'm looking at New Mexico. They got a 2-point advantage on Colorado State right now. 2 points, they're beating Colorado State. And Toppin is a talented player. But if we were to meet them in a tournament, neutral court, freshman against, senior, I don't know if he'd have enough. Osobor, he could match up, though. Osobor can match up.
Could you imagine what this team would look like offensively if you had Ladie down low and you had 4 sharpshooters around him like Jordan Shackle and Adam Seiko? What that would look like?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it would just be, we'd be killing teams. We'd be absolutely drilling teams on offense. But that's not the reality of it. And I've always felt like this team is just not built to shoot a lot of 3-pointers, but we settle for 3-pointers, and so we really should be driving more to the hoop, getting cuts to the hoop, and trying to get our points kind of the hard way, with a hoop and harm instead of shooting the threes. But we'll see. Who knows, It could be a totally different story in the tournament. Maybe we get all our bad shots out of the, out of the way now, and then we go on this amazing run in Mountain West tournament and the NCAA tournament, and we're shooting like 38% as a team. But right now, we're not good.
Jake Corey says, just let Reese get back on track. And people who just started watching SDSU forgot what Micah did all last season. He's tired of the slander. He's tired of the Micah Parrish slander. I mean, Reese had a good game yesterday. He put up some point production. Micah does, I think he does have to get back on track for sure. We haven't seen the best of Micah. I think his fullest potential. But I agree, let them get back on track, and this team will be different. I think there's a difference, though, with the threes you take. If you're settling for threes, wide open, you got to take them. We talked about that. If you're open, you got to shoot it. You got to take them. If you don't knock them down, you just don't knock them down. That was a big case last night as well.
Yeah. So the team this year is shooting 32% versus last year it was 35%. And that may look like a slim margin, but, we've played in a lot of close games, and that percentage there could be the difference for sure.
Yeah.
Mike, I also want to come back. I got that stat for you. So Boise has won 6 of the last 7 in Boise, and SDSU has won 6 of the last 7 in San Diego.
That's a rivalry. That's what you call a rivalry.
Yeah,
it's not the Merriam-Webster's definition of it, Michael B. That is what you call rivalry, dude. 6 of 7.
That's so rivalry.
We beat them. Yeah, we lost 6 of 7 there, and they've lost 6 of 7 there. Here, I bet you there's no other team like that.
No,
that we've played in the conference in the last 4 or 5 years. What is that? 6 years.
Why do you like Bronco State so much, Bronco boy?
I never said I liked them. I just said they're a rival. You guys don't know what a rivalry is. You guys don't have the stats. Andy's got my back here. You guys are sitting there. Oh, we love Utah State. You have an affiliation with Utah State about milking cows and having multiple wives and doing all this crazy stuff up there. But like, just because you had a bad juju situation with them, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but to me, that is the definition of a rivalry. Is when you play each other and they beat you half the time, and we beat you, they beat us half the time. So. I still think Utah State's a tough team, but hey, whatever, man. You know what I mean? Just win our games, and who cares about Vegas at this point? Let's just see what happens. If we win our 4 games coming up, I still think we have a chance to win the conference. You know what I mean? So, but then again, here we go again. Like I said, if New Mexico beats Colorado State, I can't remember if Colorado State beat them in Colorado or not. But like all these top teams are like, for the most part, 1-1 against each other, except for maybe Utah. Utah State about a couple teams with less losses. But this is crazy, man. Oh, now it's tied 59. It's going to overtime. Colorado State, New Mexico. Yeah,
I'm behind on the feed. So I'm catching up. But thank you, Fembone. And they're going to overtime. It sounds like. And I flashed it upon the scene. Everybody needs to recognize. I gotta watch what I say. Nobody matches up, as Mr. Ladie says. Nobody matches up. Everyone doubles and triples, and he wishes we had a 1-on-1 matchup. I agree.
Oh, Papa! Oh, dude, you just got called out by Papa Ladie, man. I don't know, man. Oh, man. Like,
I agree. I wish we had
the
one-on-one
comments. Hey, Mr. Ladie, the comments of Matthew Ortiz are not correspondent with the comments of the Sons of Montezuma. I think your son could take any player in the league, to be honest with you.
Hey, it's a fact. It's a fact. Woo! Colorado State guys, they are they going to pull off the unthinkable? Are they going to do it in the pit?
Wait, what's going on here?
Is it the unthinkable? New Mexico's lost a few games in the pit.
I mean, you guys are reading out the stats.
But...
Yeah, they're reading out the stats. New Mexico, for some reason, the pit is supposed to be this all elusive win, but they've had probably more losses there recently than what we're talking about. We haven't 6 out of 7 in Boise and vice versa. So
it's crazy.
It's just the Mountain West. It's crazy.
I feel like someone I knew said something about if New Mexico played all their games at home, they would be like a 1 seed.
Larry
Jones. Is that something that's
that was
I
me.
can't remember who that was. Oh, that was you. Oh,
that was me. Yeah. So I will take the L on that one, Mike.
I'm just giving you a hard time. I'm just giving you a hard time.
This is not always right.
I don't know. See, I'm watching the game from behind, man. I don't know what's happening now.
But one of the guys in the chat earlier, I know I give everybody a hard time about Boise State, but like New Mexico, Nevada, Utah State, it's all their stripe out game or their white out game or their blackout game or their whatever game. It seems like we're just the hunted every year and stuff like that. Everybody loves to beat us. But again, we go back to the stat, outside of them, we tend to beat teams a lot more often than they beat us. And it's not like close. I mean, so Utah State had those teams those 2 years that were really good with Cueto and Merrill and those guys. And Nevada had those teams that were really good with the Martin brothers. So, there's spurts of 2 or 3 years where teams are good. And then we're always right there. So, it's great, man. Like, I think, I still want to win, but it's great for the conference to be better and get the recognition that they're getting. But dude, let's just I'm excited about Fresno State, man. We get that win on Saturday and then we come home. I don't see us losing to San Jose State at home. You get 2 in a row. Then you end the game with 2 pretty tough teams, let's be honest. So a lot can happen in 4 games with the rest of the conference. So we still have a chance.
Still have a chance.
Well, and the other thing is, like, we're losing these games and we're not playing our best basketball. Like we've seen the great games that we played like Colorado State second half. Like, if we can get on a roll and get on a run and kind of channel sort of that energy and that rhythm and that mojo, we're going to be really hard to stop. The other thing I like to think about is like you're never as bad as you think you are on the road when you lose, and you're
Mhm.
never as good as you think you are when you win at home.
Yeah.
And so, you have to think about that. Like if we're blowing teams out at home, we have an amazing home energy crowd, that really does, I think, influence the way that our guys play. And conversely, the other teams in this conference have, at the top, have great home environments as well. And so that makes it more difficult for us to play well. So I think we're somewhere in the middle. And fortunately, we play in Vegas, the vacation home for the Mountain West Conference tournament. Aztec fans love to travel there. We hate to travel up to LA. We love to go to Vegas, and we are going to show out, and we're going to be enforced there, and it's going to feel like a home environment for the Aztecs there.
Ooh. Well, Colorado State just took the lead. 7 seconds left. 66-65. And I don't think New Mexico's taking a timeout. It looks like they're going to inbound and play. Oh, boy. I love it. I love it. I cannot wait for this tournament, guys. We are going to be there. Everybody except Andy. But we will be there. We're going to have a great time. We hope to meet up with many of you guys there. 5 seconds left. Taking it all the way down. Oh, that was way too easy. Just way too easy. Oh, my goodness. Was that Dent? Dent. All the way to the rim. All the way laid it up. Just way too easy.
Did they
Charmin
win?
saw Fiend.
New Mexico
2
beat them?
seconds left. 2.5 seconds left. I think it might have been an and one. Might have been an and one. Yep.
What's the score?
So they are New Mexico's up by 1 with 2.5 seconds left. Dent took it coast to coast. Almost like a Butler, right? But he got to the rim this time. Didn't pull up.
And I don't think Colorado State has a heckler like Fiend on the road to heckle those guys when they hit an and one.
He's about to shoot a free throw right now. He's about to shoot a free throw. So they'll still have 2 seconds. He should just intentionally miss it, maybe. 2 seconds, 2.5. That's a good amount of time too, though. Woo, Nico Medved. What are you gonna do? What you gonna do?
They're gonna lose.
What?
I mean,
I don't want to turn anybody's attention away from this game.
I mean, who cares? I mean, one of them lose, one of them win. So whatever, we'll figure that out. But
so what's the path? What's the path, though? Andy brought it up. What's the path for us to still win the conference, man?
We need to win.
We just gotta win. We gotta win, but we do need Utah State, right?
Yeah, we gotta win out and get some help.
You need New Mexico.
What that help is
New Mexico's got to beat them
really easy for Utah State. Utah State's got a really easy schedule these last few games, and it's looking like they're going to win them all, except the one that they could slip up on is against New Mexico, which is the last game of the season for them.
So this game doesn't mean anything for us. Colorado State, New Mexico. 3 seconds left. Colorado State throws it in.
Those last games on the road are really hard to win because it's senior night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Colorado State just threw it across half court. They caught it, called a quick timeout. 2.4 seconds left on the clock. That was brilliant. That was brilliant.
Anyways, yeah. I mean, we need help. I mean, New Mexico's got a tough schedule. Utah State's got the easy schedule. They have a week off and whatever. But just win, baby. Just worry about us. Win. 4 games left. Potentially 3 in the Mountain West. So I mean, it'd be nice to get that 1 seed. The 2 seed's a little wild, but you just gotta worry about Fresno State, man. Can't worry about anything else. And then we got to buy. I think that'll be interesting too to see what happens, because if we get the bye after San Jose State, right before we play UNLV in Boise, that's a week off. I'll be curious to see how they play the next 2 games, and the week off, how they typically get better. Now, I don't know if they've gotten as good as this year as they have the last few years with that bye week. They've gotten better, but we came out smoking a couple times last year after those byes. I'll be curious to see how much better they are after that bye.
We came out really flat against Colorado State on the road after a bye week.
Yeah, but this is a perfect bye before the last.
I agree. I think it's good to get healthy. Work on some things. Get ready for this championship run.
You think about all those games early in the season where everybody had a day off in preparation for us, right? Now we're gonna get some of those with towards the end of the year. Hopefully that'll rest some legs.
Everything
was
equals out.
awesome.
Everything works itself out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Oh man, if I could find out what happened with Reese Waters, why he got that tech, that was kind of weird, man. Not
I
to
think
harp on that.
I think Ziegler put in his article, I think he said that the herd were chirping at him and he cussed at him. And that's what got him the tee, allegedly. Now, that being said, if that is correct, I would imagine that should have been some other tees on some other guys playing, like Jalen House and things like that. But again, whatever, dude. You know what I
Well,
mean?
what did
Like,
you think about this? Because we saw Mr. Hurley hurl some expletives at some fans. Let's take a listen. All I heard was "Welcome to Omaha," Mike. What did you hear something in there? All I heard was "Welcome to Omaha," dude.
No, allegedly he said something. I'm gonna beat you up or something like that. But like fans just run their mouths, dude. Like, let's just be honest. And these guys, they're trying to play a game and coach, and all these kids can just run their mouth because they think they're in the sea of ambiguity and they're not being seen and stuff like that. And these players, these coaches are front and center in front of everybody. And they live their lives out more publicly than other people. I don't know, man. But we talked about this. People are people. The more this has become part of people's lives, the less empathetic they become. They just get hide behind that, and then there's no ramifications. But I mean, that's tough. At some point, people are people, and their emotions are going to get the best of them. I think the old saying is like, I probably could have handled that a little bit better. But a foolish man tries to rationalize another man's feelings. Hurley, they lost. He was pissed, right? I mean, it's true. He was lost. He was pissed, and his emotions got the best of it. I'm sure he looked back and be like, "Shit, I wish I hadn't done that," but he did.
Have you ever told someone you're going to knock them out at a basketball game, Mike? I know someone's told Fiend that a few times.
I think that was me. That was me. No, I'm just kidding. I've never told anybody I was a knock. No, that's crazy, bro. Like, that's wild, man. Like, whatever. Have you? Andrew?
Absolutely not.
I have many
Every
times.
time-
But
Oh, man.
that was probably my own doing.
Well, we had a Wolfpack
I'm
fan try
right
to
by
hide us.
Fiend. I'm right by Fiend every single time somebody tries to fight him.
That's it. Football. Yeah.
The Wolfpack fan.
No,
was a
the
basketball.
mascot. The mascot tried to fight us, I think. Oh, New Mexico won. No, but Fiend at New Mexico, Fiend was just doing his thing, but he was 4 seats in, and I was on the end, and everybody was coming up to me. I'm like, dude, what the fuck, man? I didn't.
Are you talking
I'm
about
not the one.
Nevada?
Yeah, Nevada. I was like, go over talk to him, man. That's
Yeah, they were
that's
not happy
hey, it's
with
him. His number is 85. No, I'm just kidding. But
all that for simply wooing after we hit
yeah,
free
but you know how
throws.
people are.
I was
man.
doing more than wooing, but yeah. I'm public enemy number one when I go to other arenas in the Mountain West.
Yeah. Well, New Mexico won, guys. New Mexico won.
And like, I don't. We maybe we're bringing up another pod or something like that. But I agree with you, T Mac. I think the I don't know if it'll be vitriol, but like the negativity on some of these players this year has been more than I've seen the last few years. And I'm not on Twitter as much as these guys, but I see stuff here and there, and it's just like, man, they're just kids playing a basketball game, trying to do the best they can, go to school because all of them talk about the Bible and reading the Bible and being true to their faith and all that stuff. And they're kids, man. Shit, they're kids just trying to play ball, go to school, hang out with their families, have fun, go to college. And then, people are just like, that's the fan thing. That's the fan thing. Like, I know we can be, I don't know. I feel like we're fair, maybe a little critical sometimes, but not like hostile. Like some of these
We're not
people
toxic.
are. No. But like,
it's convenient. It's convenient.
Yeah,
for
to
fans.
say it on Twitter, you can put it out there, and it's no.
Yeah.
It's like you would never say some of the stuff you said to the guys. You know what I mean? In person, it's just I don't know. It's just disappointing. But yeah, I think the bandwagon. I don't know what the whole thing about the whole Padre Twitter, but the Aztec Twitter thing is. I'm not. I hear that here and there, but I don't understand that. But maybe you guys can explain it to me in Vegas. But hey man, just root for your guys, dude. And if they, if they lose, they lose. If they win, they win. They win more often than not.
I
just-
haven't seen
it's
much of
horrible.
it. I didn't see much of it today. It seemed like today there was some popping off, like T Mac saying some of Tramel's DMs and different things. I don't know about DMs, but I guess some things were popping off today. I didn't necessarily see it, maybe because I just don't tune into those circles or whatever. So sometimes I could be oblivious, but I just think it's sometimes it's convenient for fans or just people to watch it as entertainment. And that's all it is to them. It's just entertainment. Oh, this and that. And they can say whatever they want to say because it's convenient, sitting on the couch and saying that stuff. And then they've never played probably ever. But when you look at college sports, or these, like you're saying, Mike, these young people, they're trying to ground themselves, they're trying to ground themselves. They're trying to better themselves, better their lives, their opportunities. This is like what they want for their profession. It's a game for a lot of people to just watch and, as their entertainment and their team or whatever. But I mean, at some point you got to draw the line, people. Like, these are young people, these are young people. You wouldn't talk about people if they were competing in, a scholastic event, you know what I mean? Where it was a little something more had to do with educational purposes, but it's a sport. So people feel like, oh, I could just say whatever I want to say. Is convenience, entertainment. It's a sport. No, these are people like competing for their profession, what they want to do in life. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't see it all the time, but I hear about it. And unfortunately, it's just kind of what comes with the territory. I mean, pro sports is even worse. Pro sports is terrible, So I guess this is the proving ground. Got to go through it. Unfortunately.
It's crazy, man. Like the elitism of having to get to where these guys have gotten to in terms of, I don't know what the percentage is. It's not high of the total population. And to get to a team that's ranked in the top 25 continually and being on your team and playing, people have no idea.
With our
how good these guys
NIL.
are. Yeah. Oh, here we go. But no, they have no idea how good these guys are. They just take everything for granted and make it look good. I mean, it's crazy, man. You know what I mean? So, but whatever. I still got our guys' backs. I'll if I see something I don't like, I'll say it. You know what I mean? But like, but yeah, the toxicity is just ridiculous.
But just know the bigger the stage San Diego State creates for themselves as a program, as a basketball program, as a football program, just their presence in San Diego and Southern California, the bigger that they become, the more of this, unfortunately, we're going to have to deal with. And, that's all of us fans kind of have to take that accountability on ourselves and like, okay, we'll set the tone. Just as the team sets the tone on the court, we got to set the tone as fans. So at the arena, out and about, hopefully with this podcast, more people tune in and watch and they kind of see the way that we talk about the players. Maybe that'll set an example. You just hope it does. You hope it does. Fiend's telling us we got to wrap it up. Fiend's telling he's got things to do. He's got to go finish.
Where do you go?
The team. I don't know. He's got to watch another game with another team or something like that. I don't know what's going on here.
Go check my analytics. Fiendalytics.
Fiendalytics. He's got to go study up. Guys, we thank you everybody for joining the chat. Thank you for joining this episode. It wasn't we try to make it entertaining for you guys because it's never fun to lose. Never fun to lose against Utah State specifically. They wear those blue gloves for some reason. Maybe they're louder. They wear those gloves. Is that what you said, Andy? They wear them because they're like louder for their hands in the arena. Is that what it is?
That's what
I
Jeff Goodman
was
saying. Right, I thought it was
milking,
milking too.
You gotta protect
that's what
yourself.
Fiend said, but
yeah,
Goodman said it was something about making the arena louder, and then some Purdue fan hopped in and said that they did it first. So maybe there's some validity to it, but I just think it's for milking.
Milking and not leaving fingerprints at the scene of the crime or something like that. I don't know.
Copy my whole fucking flow. Word for word, bar for bar.
Oh man, boy, I tell you, Utah State, they copy everybody. Copy chants, copy gloves, all that stuff.
Everything.
All right, guys, we're gonna sign off. It's been a long one. Thank you for sticking around. We really appreciate it. Make sure you guys are checking out the NIL shop. Make sure you guys are supporting the players through thick and thin. Sons of Montezuma NIL from day one, the original, because that's what we do here. We are OGs, like OG Mike Tortolot in East Tahoe. Oh, good night, everybody. Thank you so much. We're gonna count it down. Let you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Saturday, I don't know if there's a be watch party. I got family business, so I don't even know if I'll watch it live. But hope everybody watches it safe and sound, and we get an Aztec victory. How's that sound? Yee. All right, everybody. On behalf of the guys, Mike Tortola, SD Sports Fiend, and Sir Andy for joining us this evening, we want to say thank you. Have a good night. SonsofMontezuma.com. Go Aztecs.
Go Aztecs.
Go Aztecs.
Go Aztecs. Beat Fresno.
Fresno.
Oh my.
Fresno. Fresno. Fresno.